to talk about how we can run our satellite and encoder. So I'm here on the documentation of the 2025 ECTF insecure example provided by the MITRE organizers. If we scroll down in this document, right after the tester tool and subscription update tool, there's a section called the running satellite and encoder. It basically tells us that in order for us to run the full infrastructure, we need to first start the uplink. Then on a separated terminal, we need the satellite to be booted up. Uplink and satellite, they're gonna be running on the host machine. And then we start the TV, which will be sending data from the host machine to the decoder and get data back from the decoder and display it on the TV. By TV, we mean the terminal. So here we have details on what each of these three tools does and how we need to put them up and how we can make the TV work. So let's start with the uplink. The uplink is the component of the satellite TV that's responsible for sending encoded data frames to the satellite. It will use the encoder from our design to encode the frames. So the command is running it from the uplink and it takes the secrets and we have to provide a local host and a file which contains the encoded data. Let's copy this, and here we have on our terminal, we cd into our insecure example the reference design directory, and we need to write down .venv tab, then script, then activate. This command, which I just wrote here, it helps us activate the environment. Now, ECDF example, we are inside the Python environment. That's where we paste this command of the uplink start. When we paste the uplink start command, here we need to make a small change because now we are no longer using this secrets/secrets.json. We now have a global.secrets, which will give us the secret keys, and then we point it to the local host 2000, say this is the place where the uplink is gonna run. We say which channel, so channel 1, then we say frames per second, the FPS. So we are saying that the uplink will be transmitting data in 10 frames per second. Then this is a location, a path to the JSON file that contains the example frames, right? So we hit enter. Now we can see that starting frame stream from channel 1 at 10 FPS. So our uplink is booted up and it's running. Then we go to satellite. It's another terminal and we're in the same directory. We're just gonna boot up our virtual environment. Now the virtual environment is up. Now we look at the documentation again. Here we have satellite. So the satellite is responsible for broadcasting all frames received from the uplink to all listening TVs on the host computer. So the command for the satellite is pretty much similar, but it talks with the satellite interface, and we need to pass a location where it will run. So it's localhost 2000, and then we say at which channel and the port of the decoder from the TV, the port of the TV. So I believe that's what it is, or we can look at the help function. It says that it has a uphost, host name for uplink, upport, port for uplink, downhost, host name for downlink. So this is the downhost, this is the uphost, and this is the upport. And here we have channel and down port pairing. So this is the channel and the down port. So we copy this command, we paste it in our terminal for the satellite. Thing to note is that uplink is running on one terminal and satellite is running on a separate one. So I hit enter. Now as we can see that serving downlink channel number 1, down host localhost down port 2001 at localhost 2001. So the satellite is now listening on this port. And another separate terminal, we will turn on our TV, where we will actually see the results that are being broadcasted by the satellite. Basically, the frames which will be broadcasted by the satellite through the downlink will be visible on the TV. It's just like we're watching some cartoon on TV, right? So what does the TV do? The TV is responsible for sending encoded frames received from the satellite to a decoder. So we receive encoded frames from the satellite and we send it to our decoder, which is nothing but our little Max 78,000 feather board. And um, it's connected to the host computer and it returns us the decoded result. If the result is decoded, we can watch the frames on the TV, right? That's how the whole infrastructure works. So the command for the TV is simple as well. It's a .tv.run on the local host on the downlink port. This is the downlink host, downlink address of the host and the port of the downlink. And I believe we can look at here the arguments, the satellite host, which is basically localhost, and the satellite port, which is basically 2001. That's what this means. And then we have the decoder port, which is COM12. In my case, it was COM3. As we can see in device manager, my decoder is connected to one of the USB ports, and that USB port is COM3. So I will quickly copy this one, and here we need to boot up environment first, activate, and environment is activated. Here we paste the command, we fix the port number, and boom, we are receiving the frames from the satellite and it's being displayed here. So what's happening in short is the uplink, we passed a JSON file to the uplink. So it usually sends those frames from the JSON file to the satellite. The satellite then broadcasts it to the TV, which is the host computer. The TV sends it to our Max 78,000 featherboard, which is the decoder. The decoder decodes it and sends it back to the terminal on the TV, and the data gets displayed from the frame, from the decoded frame. So that's how the whole infrastructure works. Thank you. And another thing to note is that when we will be communicating with the actual satellite provided by the organizers, we're going to use a different command, the same command, but the address of the local host and the port will be changed. Basically, if we go to zip file for that tag reference, and here we see that they provided us a satellite IP and some channel numbers and the ports where each channels are going to be. So in case if we use this one, this satellite IP, it would actually communicate with real satellite. You know what I'm saying? So instead of the local host, it would be contacting with the server that's built by the organizers, which is going to provide the real frames. And that's the scenario of if we're actually testing our design with the organizer. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.